very pleased to have with us coming up here in just one moment the man who has just introduced the national reciprocity for concealed carry holders, Senator from Texas. Senator John Cornyn is with us on the program. Senator, thank you for your time today.
Hey, I'm happy to be with you, Cam. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. It's great talking with you, and it's I got to tell you, it's really great to hear that this is a bill that is going to be a focus of yours in the new session of Congress, and hopefully a focus for many of your colleagues as well.
Well, it makes just a lot of sense, and the best evidence of that is that 50 states now have some form of concealed handgun licensure. And, of course, the purpose of this legislation is to make sure that there are no gotcha moments when people cross state lines and inadvertently carry their firearms into another state where they aren't specifically licensed. To me, this is really equivalent to a driver's license. So when I'm licensed to drive in Texas, then I can drive in all 50 states, subject, of course, to the laws of those states. But it makes a lot of sense to me, and we'll see how it goes.
I know that similar measures have come up in the past. I think the last time that you and your colleagues in the Senate had a chance to vote on it, it had 58 votes. We needed 60 for cloture. Right. I don't know if you've done the head count yet, but do you feel pretty good that we might be able to get those 60 votes and possibly get this over to the House side?
I do feel good about it. We've got, of course, 9 new members of the United States Senate following the November election, and so I think we've got some reinforcements. And there are a number of Democrats who I think will vote for it. And, of course, a lot of that's going to depend on what they hear from their constituents back home. And so that's where you and your listeners can help, is to rally other senators to vote for the bill, or certainly allow us to get on the bill. And then, of course, it can pass with just 51 votes, and then we can send it over to the House. So I'm pretty optimistic.
How optimistic are you that if this clears the House, that President Obama would sign such a measure, Senator?
Well, I'm less clear about that. The president has been a little, shall we say, a little grumpy these days, particularly when it comes to signing legislation like, for example, the Keystone XL pipeline legislation, which is on its way to his desk. He said he's going to veto that. But as you know, at some point, there is such a thing as a veto override. It would take 67 votes in the Senate and a comparable vote in the House. But, this is the first step of the process, and a lot of this has to do with building public opinion and, frankly, educating people as to what this bill means and what it doesn't mean. There'll be some people who try to scare people and try to misinform them, but I think the facts are on our side, and this is the first step in that journey.
And you certainly are correct. There will be folks who will try to scare people about this issue. In fact, I think one of the arguments we're already hearing is that, Senator, this would lead to the lowest common denominator being able to carry firearms across state lines. But we do have reciprocity already, state by state. It's this patchwork. And that's what you're trying to eliminate, right? Just that one standard. If you have the concealed carry license in your state, you should be good to go wherever you are.
Exactly. And you're right. In the absence of nationwide reciprocity, we do have a number of reciprocal agreements between different states. But here again, there's no good reason that I can think of not to pass this legislation. Those states that have all 50 states have some form of concealed handgun licensure, and all this does is allows people from other states with a concealed handgun license to operate the same as citizens in those states that are already licensed by that state. So we're not talking about changing the rules or having different sets of rules for different people.
There was a woman who was a concealed carry holder from Pennsylvania named Shanine Allen. Back last year, she drove to New Jersey, was pulled over. She was unaware she was not allowed to bring her firearm into the state of New Jersey. She actually told the police officer she was a concealed carry holder, told the police officer she had her firearm there. She was facing more than a decade behind bars for that crime. This is not it's not a hypothetical situation. This is really happening to people all around the country right now.
Absolutely. I was in Tyler, Texas on Saturday, and a Methodist minister who actually does some traveling in his profession, said he had 3 separate concealed handgun licenses because he would travel on behalf of his ministry in different states, and so in order to avoid the same sort of problem that you mentioned, the sort of gotcha moment, he had to get 3 separate licenses. So, this is not a hypothetical, and this is really designed to protect otherwise law-abiding people and to make sure that they don't have to deal with these kinds of charges and, of course, the expenses and the difficulty of dealing with them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I know that the bill has just been introduced. Has it been assigned to a committee yet, Senator?
It has not yet. I believe it will probably come before the Judiciary Committee, and we've got, last count, in excess of about a dozen co-sponsors. So we're just again at the early stages of this. But again, I hope this the more people learn about it, the more they understand that this is just a common sense piece of legislation, like a driver's license, and we can get this thing moved through.
I hope so. It sounds like right now, though, gun owners around the country, we need to be talking to our senators, encouraging them to support this measure, sign on as co-sponsors as well. Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, Senator, again, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all of your efforts. And I look forward to talking to you throughout the legislative process. Hopefully, as the bill is moving forward through the Senate, we can have you back on the show. I'd like that. Thank you very much. All right, Senator. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, sir. Senator John Cornyn from Texas.